Hello, hello. I do this every time. Hello. I was a cheerleader in high school, so maybe that's it. But hello, anyways. Welcome to Live, brought to you by Flight Attendant Career Connection. I'm Abby Unger, the owner and founder of Flight Attendant Career Connection, which is the Facebook group that you're in right now while you're watching this video. It's also a company that offers coaching, community, inspiration, and resources to aspiring and professional flight attendants. So today we are going to be chatting a little bit about Alaska Airlines. And the reason for today's chat is because they just started accepting applications yesterday, I believe, and they'll be opened. It looks like they've published that they're going to be open, accepting applications through the 4th of November at midnight. So if you are interested in applying, I would encourage you to go ahead and get to applying, because even though it's going to be open for a few days, you kind of want to be at the top of the list. You want to go ahead and get it done. Go ahead and get your application in there. You need a resume, obviously. A cover letter is not really necessary. I haven't seen that it makes a difference as far as being invited to do a video interview or move forward in the process or get hired. So if you don't have a cover letter, if you've been around a while, you've probably heard me say JetBlue is the only one that really cares about the cover letter, and that's true in this case as well. So if you don't have a cover letter, don't stress about making a cover letter. Go ahead and apply with your resume. Make sure your resume is ready, though, and is airline specific. One thing that I wanted to talk about was I like the page Alaska Airlines Careers, and so it's a Facebook page. And it showed up in my feed last night that they were accepting applications for flight attendants, of course, although it had been announced in the group and I had seen it kind of all over Facebook. But when I saw the ad from the airline, I took notice and read the little description. And I actually wrote down part of it because I feel like, anytime an airline puts words out into the world, it's on purpose. They have people who it's their sole job to write copy, which is like write words for the website, for Facebook, so that all their branding is consistent and accurate and helps them to push forward and project to the world how they want to be known. So this is what the ad said. It's not an ad like an advertisement, but it was an ad like, the post said. And it said that they're looking, if you are willing to put safety first and deliver kind-hearted service, bringing your whole self to every guest interaction, we want to hear from you. Okay, so I wanted to kind of break this down a little bit. So it says, if you're willing to put safety first, deliver kind-hearted service, bringing your whole self to every guest interaction, we want to hear from you. So the first thing that you notice is what comes first in this list. What is the priority? This is the same for every airline, but I think sometimes we forget what is first. Safety, okay? Safety's number one. Now, what do they talk about first? If you are able to deliver kind-hearted service. See, it's very telling in the words that they use. They didn't say great customer service. They didn't say servant's heart. They didn't say world-class service. What word did they use? Kind-hearted service. So when you're interviewing with them, they have told you exactly the type of service that they want you to give. Kind-hearted. So as you're preparing for your next interview, or if you're tweaking your resume, think about the words that they use. Again, they employ people to specifically write copy that represents their brand. Okay, so we've got safety first. We've got what kind of customer service? Not excellent, not world-class, not superior, kind-hearted. If I was interviewing with them, I would probably look at the definition of kind-hearted, and I would study what that really means, because it's obviously important, because that's not a regular word that we would just normally use. You can tell by that choice that was on purpose, right? When's the last time you used the word kind-hearted? All right. And then bringing your whole self to every guest interaction. All right, so there's another cool, oh my gosh, there's another clue in there. I get excited. There's another clue in there. So how do they refer to their customers or their passengers or their clients? Who knows? Who recognized it? Guests. Okay, so they use the word guest. Some airlines use passenger. Some airlines are really passionate about using the word customer. In some, I don't really hear this in aviation, but you may refer to your customers as clients. So there's several different ways to refer to your customer, the person that you're serving. How does Alaska do that? Well, we know from this copy that they use the word guest. Okay, so again, when you're talking about your interview, when you're doing your video interview, or maybe if you're tweaking your objective in your resume a little bit to make it super Alaska friendly, maybe you would want to replace the word passenger with the word guest. Okay, so this is why it's really, really important that you learn about the brand of the airline every time you interview. You learn about each airline's brand. And I've done videos on how and where to do that. You don't learn about branding on Glassdoor. You do learn about branding from the airline's website, or in this case, from the Facebook page that is official to the airline. Okay, so we just learned a ton. They're looking, what do they want in flight attendants? What is Alaska really looking for? Okay, people who focus on safety, people who are kind-hearted, and who will serve their guests. They told you, right? They told you how to say it. They told you how to present yourself, and they told you what's important to them right there in that Facebook post. Boom. Okay, so I hope that you will take that to heart and kind of think about it, mull it over, figure out what those 3 things really mean to you so that you can personalize it. Another thing that they said in the post, and I've actually gotten some emails about this, does Alaska require you to relocate? As far as I know, SkyWest is the only airline at this time that requires a relocation. Pretty much every other airline will ask you to be willing to relocate, which a willingness to relocate is different than a commitment to relocate. The way this same Facebook post, which y'all go like the page. If you're just hopping on, I got this from Alaska Airlines Careers. The Facebook post popped up in my feed last night, and so I paid attention because anytime you can read something written by the airline, it's on purpose. They choose words very carefully to make sure that their brand is consistent on social media and on the website. So what they said about bases in the same post was that they want people who are able to accept a base in LA, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, San Diego, and San Francisco. So they didn't even say willing to relocate. It actually was a lot broader and more forgiving than willing to relocate, because they only want you to be willing to accept a base. So this is what that means. If you are going, I will only be based in Seattle. They have a base in Seattle. I'm going to apply and go to training and then quit if I don't get based in Seattle. That's what they're trying to prevent. So it doesn't really say anything about commuting, not commuting, relocating, not relocating. They don't even use the word relocating. You just have to be willing to be based. This is the requirement. Able to accept a base in LA, Portland, Oregon, Seattle. I thought that they had a base in Anchorage. Is that not right? I wrote it down off the post. So maybe they're not basing people there. I don't know. Someone who works for them can answer that question. Yeah. So LAX, Portland, Seattle, San Diego, and San Francisco. That's what I wrote down. I don't know. The point of this, though, is that I've had questions about the relocation, and so I want to make sure that it's clear that Alaska's actually being pretty generous. Like, you just have to accept being based in one of these places. They're not even asking you to be willing to relocate at this point. That's not to say that may not be a question in the interview, that they want to know if you're willing to relocate. They want to know what your plans are, because it's in their best interest that you do relocate, because it cuts down on not making it to work because you're commuting. It's just in their best interest. So that's a little bit about Alaska, really kind of quick. Also, in the description of this video, I posted a link to a conversation that was had in the Facebook group last year. I think it was last year. Yeah, last year. that just had a lot of questions answered about, I believe Alaska uses trip for pay instead of block hours, which is just a different way of calculating how you get paid. And there were some questions about guarantee. There were some questions about per diem and answers. There were some answers about trip for pay, about bases, about training, about interview. So it was just a really nice full, it has like 65 comments post from last year, and probably a lot of it is the same. So I did want to reference that because I remember reading it last year and that there was a lot of information in it. And then also I wanted to talk to you about two trainings too. Oh, I just moved my mouse. Hope that didn't mess me up. Two trainings. So this last Sunday, if you joined me for the confidence class, thank you. I felt like it went really good. I really enjoyed it, teaching it. The feedback was really great. And I actually have the recording available too still. So if you weren't able to join, the recording is available for purchase at the same price even. And the link is in the description to purchase that. And I'll just email all of the worksheets and the recording straight to you. So you can just get it all right away. But this was a class that teaches you how 3 really practical tools to help you increase your confidence. And we talked about how confidence is a feeling, and you can change the way you feel by actions, thoughts. And then we also talked about some really, really practical things that you can do to help you feel more confident and move you closer to your flight attendant goals. So this is for aspiring flight attendants, the class. And then I'm teaching another class this Sunday because it went really well. I was trying it out. I was like, let's see how this works. It went great, I thought. So I'm teaching a different class this Sunday. And this is a class, this is a focused training on the STAR format. So it will be about an hour to an hour and a half, and it will be about the STAR format, which is a type of interview style that all the airlines use, that Delta is very passionate about, and can be kind of confusing. These are those ones. Tell me about a time when you gave great customer service. Tell me about a time when you had a disagreement with a manager. Tell me about a time when you saw a coworker do something unprofessional or unethical. Tell me about a time when you faced an emergency. And so I'm going to be breaking down what the STAR format is, how to answer it, how to pick your best stories, and then I will be giving you examples from my life, my examples of how, like, all those questions I just named or listed, you'll get to hear me answer them in STAR format so that you can get an idea. Now, of course, everyone's stories are different. So when I tell you my emergency story, it's not going to be like, oh, good, that's the right answer. Let me go tell that to someone else. But it will allow you to see several times. You'll get to hear lots of STAR format, actually, because it's focused. You'll get to hear me answer lots of STAR format questions. So you'll get to hear the situation, the task, the action, and the result for each one, how I wrap it up, how I segue between the sections. And then that, of course, will be after I do a training on the STAR format so that you are prepared to use the STAR format so that you don't get tripped up or confused or start second guessing yourself about your STAR format questions. That class is $12. This is a focused training, which is part of a new series that I'm going to be doing. And on different things. So this is the first one. So we're going to be focusing on the STAR format. So if you cannot join me live, please go ahead and register so that you will get the replay quickly in the afternoon after the class, or in the evening after the class is over. And if you can join me, that would be even better, because then you can ask questions if you have questions. But I'm really, really excited about this. I've never done such a focused training on one type of interview question. I've done interview skills broader. You may have seen those, but this will be very, very focused with lots of examples. So you get to see those results over and over again, because that always seems to be the trickiest part. So I'm excited about that, and I hope as many of y'all could join me as possible. I think it's going to be really, really helpful. Like I said, every airline does use the STAR format. Delta is kind of famous for being very specific about it. In fact, I've even heard from candidates that, I don't know if it's still there, but at some point they even had a poster in the interview room that said STAR format, situation, task, action, result, to remind you to answer in that format because that's how much they love it. So we're going to be breaking it down. I'll tell you what to avoid. I'll tell you the no-nos for the STAR format and the yeses as well. So hopefully you'll get to join me for that. I'm excited about Alaska. I love Alaska. I love that Alaska spirit. I think that they have a great product. They have a great brand. They've been stable and they're consistent. And I really, I don't know. And I've only flown them a couple times, but I just like them. So if you're interested in them, please go ahead and apply. It's a great opportunity. Even though they're kind of West Coast based, they've been coming over here east. They've got a direct flight from Seattle to Charleston now, so y'all can all come see me once you get hired if you work that flight. I think they have kind of a longer layover too. But anyways, I digress. I hope that you have found this helpful and that it encourages you to go ahead and ASAP get that resume ready and get that application into Alaska. So I'll talk to you later. Hope to see you Sunday. Bye.